those of you who are tuning in, it's time for us to continue our Bible study. We're going to start tonight at the same place where we stopped in our last session. We are studying from the book of Proverbs. As you all know, Proverbs was written by King Solomon. Proverbs is a collection of moral and religious teachings in the form of saying and proverbs. Much of Proverbs has to do with practical, everyday concerns, common sense. Proverbs begin with a reminder that to have knowledge, you must first have reverence from the Lord, because wisdom, knowledge, and understanding comes from the Lord. Proverbs also deals with good manners and common sense. And my brothers and sisters, if you don't have common sense, you are lacking the most important thing. Proverbs have many short sayings about what a wise person would do in various situations. In other words, Proverbs will tell you how to conduct yourself regardless of what comes up in your life, such as family relations, business dealings, self-control, humility, patience, respect for the poor, and loyalty to your friends. This evening we're going to begin with the 11th chapter of Proverbs, beginning with the 14th verse. And if you have any questions, you can text Deacon Fuller. We will give you the answer. We cannot give you the answer to your question tonight. We'll give them to you in our next session. Proverbs chapter 11, beginning with verse 14, you'll find the following account. What we're going to do is take these verses one by one, because Solomon has it recorded that way, so one verse will take care of various situations. Verse 14 reads as follows: where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. Where there is no counsel, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. According to the 14th verse, where there is no counselors, where there is no instructors, where there is no advisors, the people perish. They will perish for lack of knowledge. They will perish for lack of guidance. For where there is no counsel, no instructors, and no advisors, the people are spiritually blind. And you know as well as I know, brothers and sisters, that the blind cannot lead the blind, for they both will fall in the ditch. But where there is advisors, counselors, and instructors, the people will have safety and they will have security. Someone to guide them along the pathway of duty. Someone to prevent them from going astray and yielding to temptation and going in the wrong way. Where there are counselors, instructors, and advisors, the people will be taught. Blessed are the man that walketh in the counsel, or walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in his law doth he meditate day and night. Those were the words of King David, and the words in our text this evening are the words of King David's son. Verse 15 reads as follows: He who gives surety for a stranger will smart for it. But he who hates surety is secure. Now, according to this 15th verse, if you promise to pay a stranger's debt, you will regret it in the future. You are better off if you just don't get involved. Even when your best friend are in debt, it's best for you not to get involved. What I'm actually trying to tell us is sometimes we may co-sign for someone, and that person neglects to pay the bill. Then the co-signer is responsible for that bill. The reason that I know is because I had a relative, I had a close friend many, many years ago who had just graduated from school, needed an automobile for transportation, but he didn't have no credit established, and he needed someone to co-sign for him. He and I had been friends for a long time. I had known him for 15 or 20 years. He asked me would I co-sign for him. I voluntarily, I gladly co-signed for him. And after I co-signed for him, he made his payments each month for approximately 8 or 9 months. And after that, I started receiving letters about the bill that was due that I was responsible for. This young man was away, left the state. He was gone. I didn't know where he was, but I knew he was in one branch of the military. I wasn't sure what branch of the military he was in. I didn't know how to contact him. But the Lord gave me the wisdom and the knowledge to get on my telephone and start calling various branches of the service. After about a couple of months, I finally contacted him, and I spoke to one of his supervisors, and I told them the situation. They told me a time to call back. When I called back, I was able to contact and communicate with that individual. And I wanted to know from him why had he stopped paying for his automobile. He couldn't give me a satisfactory answer. But the reason why he stopped paying for it was he knew that I was the co-signer. And he knew that if he didn't pay the bill, I was responsible for the bill. Because I had my signature on the dotted line. This is what Solomon is saying to us in that verse. Solomon is saying to us, when somebody wants you to get involved in a debt that they owe, it's best if you not to get involved. It's called surety in that particular verse. But what it means is co-signing or being responsible for somebody else's debt. Sometimes your best friend will deceive you. So it's best if you can. Just as Solomon said in that passage, don't give surety. Because if you give surety, you will regret it. The best thing for us to do is to not get involved unless it's one of our immediate family members. Verse 16 tells us, or it says, a gracious woman retaineth, or get honor, and strong men get rich. A gracious woman retaineth, or gets honor, and a strong man gets riches. In other words, according to Solomon, a gracious lady is respected. She does things that are decent and in order. She's not a woman who tries to please everybody. She doesn't go along to get along. But she does things that are decent and in order. But we find in that same verse, a woman without virtue is disgraceful. A woman without virtue is disgraceful. And we also find in that verse that a lazy man will never amount amount to much. A lazy man will never amount to much. He will never have any money. He will always be broke, busted, and disgusted. But we also find in that verse that an aggressive man will end up getting rich. In other words, you cannot stop an aggressive man. You cannot block an aggressive man. He's labeled as a go-getter. Strong men will always achieve, but a lazy man will never have nothing much. You see, the reason for that is, under most circumstances, a strong man is a good man. And you Bible readers know that a good man's steps are ordered by the Lord. Let's look at verse 17. A man who is kind benefits himself. How about it, brothers and sisters? Are you kind or are you mean and hateful? The Bible says, Solomon says, a man who is kind benefits himself. But a cruel man hurts himself. In other words, kindness is recommended by Solomon as being beneficial to yourself. Kindness, according to Solomon, is making way for your own self. It's beneficial to the person who practices it. Whether you high, low, rich, or poor, if you learn how to be kind, you're benefiting yourself. Then if you're mean, if you're evil, and you're cruel, according to Solomon, cruelty is detrimental to the one who practices it. So what do you want people to be toward you? And what do you want God to be to you, kind or cruel? I don't know about you, but I want the Lord to be kind to me. And God is kind to me. As a matter of fact, we may not realize it, but God is blessing us right now. He puts air or oxygen right at the tip of our nose, and all we got to do is inhale and exhale and keep on breathing. God is good to us, and He wants us to be kind. Brothers and sisters, you do yourself a favor when you are kind to folk. When you show hospitality, you are doing your own self a favor. But when you are mean, when you are cruel, when you are violent, you are only injuring or hurting yourself. Let's look at verse 18. Verse 18 reads as follows: a wicked man earns deceptive wages. One who shows righteousness gets a sure reward. If you do what's right, and it's not as hard to do as some of us may think it is, if you try to do what's right with the help of the Lord, God will reward you for doing right. In other words, it pays. It pays. There are rewards for you being good. Deceitful works will bring deceitful wages or falsehood. They are deceptive in that they will not bring permanent benefits or bring you sure rewards. Benefits are rewards from the Lord. God is a rewarder of those who do good. It's not that we try to do what's right in God's sight just to get a reward, but we're supposed to try to do right in God's sight because we love the Lord. Look what He has done for you just today. You cannot count the blessings that God has done for you just today. First of all, He woke you up this morning. First of all, those of you who still have the use and the activities of your limb, gave you the ability to get up from your beds. Gave you the ability to perhaps fix your own breakfast. Wash your face, bathe yourself. Just look what the Lord has done for you today. God has done more for us today than we can ever do for ourselves. Wicked people do not really gain anything by being wicked. But if you do certainly to be rewarded. If you don't believe me, just take a look at one of our biblical characters, one I admire, by the name of Joseph. Regardless of what happened to him, he always done what was right. His own brothers put him down in the well for him to die of starvation, but one of the brothers insisted that they get him out. They sold him into slavery. He had the opportunity, brothers and sisters, to annihilate them, to kill them, to wipe them off the face of the earth. But he remembered that vengeance is mine, said the Lord. And he didn't try to get even with them. Not only that, but he went on down and was sold to a man named Potiphar. And Potiphar's wife falsely accused him. She lied on him. He had the opportunity to execute her in the process of time. Because she lied on him, he was thrown in prison. But when he got in prison, you know what he did? He let his light shine before the prisoners, so that they saw his good work and glorified God his Father, which is in heaven. And it wasn't long before he got promoted. Over all the prisoners became the warden. Wasn't long before Pharaoh had a dream and he moved on up a little higher. He didn't try to get even with nobody. He didn't try to cause vengeance on those folk who mistreated him, but he was a just man. He was a righteous young man. And God blessed him tremendously. He was blessed more than anybody, or just about anybody in the Old Testament. And you know as well as I know, God is the same today as he was yesterday. God is still a way maker, a caretaker, and God will provide for you. Questions. Let us look at verse 19. Who is steadfast? He who is steadfast in righteousness will live. Don't you want to live, brothers and sisters? But he who pursues evil will die. See, Solomon is an awesome man. Was an awesome man. There was nobody any wiser than Solomon but Jesus the Christ. Amen. Solomon tells us how to live our lives. And if we apply the words of Solomon to our daily activities, we will be blessed. Listen to what he says in this 19th verse. He who is steadfast in righteousness will live, but he who pursues evil will die. The righteous man will have a long life. He will be happy. See, to live is not just to breathe, not just to exist, but to live is to have life and have it more abundant. This is what Solomon is telling us. He's telling us how to have life and how to have life more abundantly. There's nothing we can do on planet Earth that's more beneficial to us than pleasing God. The righteous man will have a long life. He will be happy in life. Not only will he be happy in life, but he will also be prosperous. God will rain down blessings from him from on high. He will have so many blessings that he really won't have room to store them. That sounds like a fantasy, but that's the truth. You won't believe it's true until it happens to you. And it won't happen to you until you try God. There's nothing wrong with investing your faith in God. There's nothing but trying God. And I guarantee you, if you try God, you will like God. The wicked told you about what God will do for the righteous, how he will be prosperous, happy, and have longevity. But the wicked will die an untimely and an unnatural death. You don't believe it? Read your Bible. The Bible tells us about a young man by the name of Absalom. You know the story of Absalom. You know what he did to his father. You know how he tried to embarrass his father by taking all of his father's concubines, committing adultery with them in the front of the entire city, trying to humiliate his father David. You know how he chased his father from the palace. But look how he died in the process of time. Look how he died. running from his father's arm. Ran under a tree and there was a limb hanging down and it caught him under the neck.
Yes, sir.
Broke his neck. He died. He died unsatisfied. But the righteous man don't have those kind of things to worry about. Not only Absalom, but you know the story of Jezebel. You know how Jezebel despised the prophets of God. You know how Elijah ran for his life, hiding down in dens and caves and by the brook from Jezebel. But look how Jezebel died. The dogs came along, licked up her blood and ate her body. She was mean, she was wicked, she was evil. That doesn't happen to those who love the Lord. Anyone who is determined to do right. We're not perfect. I say determined and try to do right. And brothers and sisters, I might well tell you this. It doesn't matter how hard you try to do right, every now and then you are going to do wrong.
Evil is always present.
One of the prophets said, I don't remember his name, but he said, when I want to do right, was it Paul?
Paul.
It was Paul.
Evil's always
when
present.
I want to do right, wrong is always present. So regardless of how we try to live for the Lord, Satan, the devil, is going to always have somebody nearby tempting us. We simply have to trust in the Lord and ask the Lord to keep us. Ask the Lord not to pass us by. We have to make a determination that we're not going to yield to temptation or yielding to sin. Each victory will help us, some others, to win. We have to fight manfully on with dark passages and subdue. We must look forever to Jesus. And he will do what? He will carry us through. Try to do wrong. And if you try to do wrong, God and Jesus will help you along. Any questions? Now, let us move on. Verse 20 says, men of a perverse mind are an abomination to the Lord, but those of blameless ways are his delight. In other words, according to Solomon, in verse 20, the Lord hates evil-minded people. The Lord hates evil-minded people. But the Lord loves and adores those who try to do right. And if you try to do right, you will find yourself doing right more often than you would if you didn't try to do right. Those of us who try to do right, God will take care of us. But those who have a perverse mind is an abomination to the Lord. I'm sure some of you Bible readers or some of you who are listening to me today, I'm sure that you can remember that Satan once had the best position in heaven and in the universe. You Bible scholars can remember once Satan was right next to God. You Bible readers can remember he was in heaven. The best dressed character in heaven. The best singer in heaven. I believe he could outsing Dean Fuller, and Dean Fuller's a good singer. But Satan could beat him singing. The Bible says he was one of the best singers in heaven. Nobody could touch Satan. Walked around every day, dressed to a T. But there was one thing wrong with Satan. He had a perverse mind. And he was an abomination to the Lord, according to Solomon in this 20th verse. He was an abomination. Called walk. Can you imagine that? Walk in heaven. See, regardless of how wicked or how low down or how dirty a person is, they can always get somebody on their side. Satan was mean, he was cruel, he was jealous, he was envious, he despised God. And he got him a game together. Wasn't the Bloods, it wasn't the Crips, but it was a game. He got them together and they started a fight or a war in heaven. But he was no match for God, y'all. He was no match for God. I believe it was those angels and those archangels, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael. I don't know which one was the leader, but the angels got together, organized them a game. And you know what happened to Satan? He got thrown out of heaven. They threw him out, all because he had a perverse mind. He had it made, brothers and sisters. Didn't have nothing to worry about. Anything he wanted, God would have gave it to him. But God was not going to give him his position. Because if Satan would have been ruling, oh my Lord, you think this world is in turmoil now? They cast him out of heaven. But he didn't stop there. When they cast him out of heaven, he came on down here to earth. Now, he got another army, another mob game. Now he's working on us. He couldn't win in heaven, but he insisted, when I get down there on earth, I'm going to win. And he still thinks, brothers and sisters, he still thinks that he's going to win victory over God. In the final analysis, that's what he expects to do. Win victory over God. He thinks he's greater than God. He thinks he's greater than God. They kicked him out of heaven. He came down to earth. He started working. There were only 2 people on earth. He started working on them. And to be honest, he got both of them. Solomon is letting us know we're not supposed to have a perverse mind because the Lord hates evil-minded people. But he loves and he adores those who try to do right. Let's take a quick look at Cain and Abel. You remember the story of Cain and Abel. Cain had a perverse mind. Abel had a righteous mind. Abel was blameless. But Cain did the same thing that Satan the devil did. He got jealous of his brother because his brother was doing good and he was doing evil. I don't know, church, but my time seems to be almost out. I've got 6:30. I don't know what you got. I've got 6:30. So does anybody have any questions? Anybody? Nobody didn't text Brother Deacon Fuller, so that means nobody didn't have no questions. But if you do have questions, you can just text Deacon Fuller, and we will be glad to answer your questions. And if we cannot answer those questions tonight, I'll tell you the same thing I would tell you if you were here with me tonight. We can't give you the answer tonight. We all can work on it. And the next time we assemble, we will give it to you. And if I'm not mistaken, brethren, I think we stopped, the last verse I read was the 20th verse. So next week, we will begin with the 21st verse in our next session. I didn't bring my pen. I had it. Oh, I got a pen. It's all good. Turn around, one right behind me. Begin. So let us have a closing prayer. Gracious Father, our Lord and our God, we pause at the closing of this session to say thank you for what has transpired here tonight. For we know, dear God, that your visitation of your Holy Spirit was here with us because we were able to feel that little wheel turning and that Holy Ghost fire burning down in our souls. And we know that you were here with us. We pray, dear God, that you will continue to bless our Bible study, continue to bless our church in its entirety. We ask, dear God, that you will remember all of our members collectively and individually. Go with us and stand by us now, dear God. Remember those homes who are in turmoil. Those, dear God, who have to make an immediate decision. Bless them, keep them, direct them, and protect them all hurt, harm, and danger. Father God, when we've gone the last mile of the way, when we come down to that final expiration day, we must stake our spiritual swords into the golden sand of time, cannot study war no more on planet Earth. We ask, Father God, that you give us a home over there where Jesus is, where every day will be celebrated like a holiday, where every month will be as beautiful as the month of May, where every year will be like a jubilee. In the mighty, miraculous, saving, redeeming name of Jesus the Christ, we pray. Let the redeemed of the Lord say amen, amen,